Hey everyone, Ed here from Solo Quest. Welcome to the channel. Today I have a bit of a different video for you all. We're going to try out a game on Tabletop Simulator. This is something I haven't done before on the channel, but honestly I'm thinking of probably doing more of these playthroughs on TTS, Tabletop Simulator, because it allows us to try out some games. Maybe they are on Kickstarter. Well, usually they are on Kickstarter. So these are games that we can traditionally try out. I do ask for some preview copies now and then, but unfortunately no luck yet, pretty much. So Tabletop Simulator is my alternative here to try to show you a few games that either are on Kickstarter right now or maybe are coming pretty soon. And that's what we're going to do here today. We're going to take a look at Agemonia. I think that's how it's pronounced, Agemonia. There are two tutorials right now available. Everyone can just try them out. You just need to have Tabletop Simulator, that's it, and you can download the two tutorials available right now. There will be another one available soon. Maybe it's available already once this video goes live, I'm not sure. But for today, I'm going to show you the first tutorial here for Agemonia. So this will be on Tabletop Simulator. Hopefully this will all go smoothly, let's hope. So here we have the module, it's already loaded up. So this is for tutorial number 1 for Agemonia, which is all of them. I think they're the 3 scenarios that we have 2 right now. There will be a third one, and they will slowly introduce us to this world. So what is Agemonia? So this is basically a narrative driven narrative campaign game, as well as many others that there are, but this one actually feels a little bit different. The narrative, the way it's done with the story cards, and you will see that in this preview playthrough, it is a bit different. It's not innovative, it's not reinventing the wheel here, but I did enjoy quite a lot my time with it, and so yeah, I thought I would show it to all of you because it is an interesting game, and it will be on Kickstarter if I'm not mistaken, unless I heard around June or something. So first of all, the first thing I immediately thought when I saw this game was the title was one of the most prettier ones I've seen in a while. So it is pretty cool. As you can see, the art, I don't know, I like the colors. I don't know if this detail will be in the final version, of course, but I really like the detail here on this map. And this is for the first scenario. I'm not sure how they will do this for the story because, well, we can't have a board for every single scenario. And I'm not sure how many scenarios the game will have. I'm not even sure if these tutorials will be in the final game or if they're just a preview. Probably they're just a preview here for the tutorial, for the TTS, so that people get acquainted with the game itself, and they will probably not be available on the final product. Usually these are just preview scenarios made specifically for this kind of thing. So yeah, here we have Agemonia. I'm going to be, so you can play with a 1 to 4. You have 4 heroes right here that you can use. I'm gonna go with 2, so as not to keep things too complicated and have a faster, smoother experience here to be able to show you everything accordingly. So I will be using this hero right here. I will be using Lunara. Okay, so there you go, Lunara. We will be using her, and I will also be using this hero right here, which is Zuvasai. So we're going with like a melee fighter and a mage, although well, I don't really want to spoil anything. I did play this scenario already once, but there's not much fighting. So this scenario is more about showing you how to use your actions and also the narrative possibilities that this game offers. So honestly, don't expect combat here on this scenario. We will slowly be introduced to some mechanics, and then scenario 2 will expand on those and show us more. Okay, so for now we're going to basically set up the game. So we have our 2 miniatures here for our heroes, and basically what you do, well, we pick our heroes, of course. Oh, let me just talk you a little bit about the components here. So this is our hero board here, okay? we have our statistics here for each of the attributes that we will be doing checks for. So we will have a few attribute checks during the scenario, and we will be, this is I believe might, agility, and mind or will, something like that, something similar. It's pretty standard stuff. We have here the actions that we can choose. So at the beginning of each turn, each of the heroes will choose one of the actions to perform. So we have this action marker here, and basically what you do is you put the marker on the action that you want to perform. For this first scenario, we only have two abilities available right now, which is this one and this one. So what do they do? So this symbol right here, just to explain this a little bit better, this symbol right here means that it is a maneuver. This is the maneuver symbol. And why is it called, what's a maneuver? So a maneuver is actually one of these things right here. So on each of the turns, we are going to have one maneuver to do and then one action that we select right here, okay? So let's say I chose this one, which we will be doing a lot. This means that we have an extra maneuver. Our action is an extra maneuver, which means we can do not just one of these maneuvers, but actually two. In this case, what we can do right now is we can walk which means this maneuver lets us walk for two zones. This one right here, the run, we can go for, instead of 3 zones, but we have to spend 2 of these little chips right here. These are our Vitae chip or vitality chips. These are basically our stamina, if you want to simplify it. So we just need to spend, we can spend 2 chips and then we could run instead of walking. It's just one more space, but it does make a difference here, especially on this scenario, which will be mostly interacting with things on the environment and running around, and you will see what it is. I don't want to spoil it. Another thing we can do here is the meditate, which means we will get 3 of these chips back. So it's kind of like a rest, okay? And then we have the recover, which we won't be using in this scenario. This would allow us to basically heal up, because on the other side of these chips, we actually have our like damage health markers. But again, we won't be using that, right? We have some stuff here that, like you see, it is locked. So tutorial 2, tutorial 3, and then this one here, tutorial 2 and 3 as well. So one other action we can choose instead of the extra maneuver, which again would allow us to do an extra one of these. These are our 4 maneuvers. We can do a focus here. So if we actually pick this up, what this means is that for this, the duration of this turn, this hero gets another point here on attribute checks, okay? For the entire turn, it will get +1. So if you're struggling with an ability check here, an attribute check, whatever you want to call it, you can focus your hero so that it will be easier to actually get through those checks. All right. Now, what kind of checks are we talking about? How do we do those checks? So let's say during a story, maybe it's actually easier just to talk about it once we get there. So this is just let's just talk about here the hero bar. So this is basically it, okay? Pretty simple stuff. This is Lunara, and we will place her miniature hero right here because, well, it says start here, okay? And our other hero, which is Zubasai, okay? He has taunt 1. They all have a taunt value. She has taunt 7. Again, this I won't explain it here because we won't use it for this scenario. I'll talk about it in other tutorials that do use this keyword, okay? So Zubasai basically has pretty much the same 2 actions available. He is a little bit different here on the attributes. He does have more will, less might. I hope I'm not butchering. I think that's what these are called. And again, the maneuvers are exactly the same, if I'm not mistaken, with Lunara, okay? So that's our 2 heroes, the ones we will be using. Again, you could, if you want to, use Venia here, which is another available hero. Pretty similar, although her maneuver, the run, is a little bit cheaper. She only spends 1 chip, although she has 7. Zubasai has 8, and Lunara, if I'm not mistaken, has 9. So she has more stamina, even though things are more costly. And that's pretty much it for our heroes. You can one very important thing here is this this little color and symbol on the left of our each of our actions. So this is what dictates turn order. So basically at the start of each turn, each of the heroes will pick up their marker and just select an action, okay? So let's say that Lunara would like to do an extra maneuver, and let's say that, I keep forgetting his name, Zuvasai would also like to do an extra maneuver. So actually on this one, they have the same symbol, right? Yeah, it's just the focus from, so actually maybe it's easier. So let's say Lunara was going to focus, okay, and Zuvasai was going to do an extra maneuver here. Okay, so the symbols are different. This basically denotes the speed on which the hero will do this action. And I think each scenario will have probably in the game different initiative orders. But for this tutorial right here, if we go here into the initiative order 8, it says that if a hero chooses an action with this red circle, he will go first. Then heroes with this this bluish symbol will go second, and last but not least, heroes that choose an action with this green symbol will go third or last. So meaning that if we had chosen this, so Zuvasai, if Zuvasai would have gone with the blue action and Lunara with the green one, the focus, she would actually be last. Okay. When we actually choose actions with the same symbol, we ourselves as players can choose which hero goes first. They have the same speed, so it's up to us to decide the order. All right. So I'm picking up Zuvasai. I'm placing it right here on this tile. Okay. So the game is really pretty simple. This tutorial will be pretty easy for all of you to understand. Hopefully, I'll try my best to explain it as we go. I don't want to delve too much into rules beforehand because again, it is actually it's pretty simple and pretty cool. So as we since we only have 2 heroes right here, basically the game there is a set number of rounds. Okay, we are not going, there's no loss condition here on this first scenario. We only have a set amount of time to do whatever we can to help people in this scenario and prepare ourselves maybe for the tutorial number 2. So since we do have 2 characters right here, so this counter is defined by these fate cards. Okay, in this first scenario, or I think it's not or all of them, I'm not sure, but for this scenario, if you are playing 2 heroes, you leave 7 fate cards in here. Basically, these simply are a countdown for the timer we have. At the end of each round, when both heroes take all of their actions, we pick up a fate card, we just flip it just so we know this was used. Never mind the number, okay, it won't matter right now, and we will just be flipping fate cards. As soon as we flip the last one, that means that the scenario has ended and we have to stop playing, and then we will actually go into the rule book, which is somewhere around here. This has a conclusion section where it's going to ask us what we achieved, and we will read from there to see, well, basically what we got to achieve here on this scenario. So yeah, I think this is important to know. But apart from this, yeah, I think we can pretty much start playing, and I'll talk about things a little bit better as we go. I think one of the fate cards was still on the reverse side, but that's okay. And I'll talk about the dice and the attribute checks as we get there, okay? But yeah, let's just start playing here. I'll talk about one more important thing, which is these little markers here on the scenario. So these are story points, and this scenario will develop itself as our heroes explore it, and they explore it by interacting with these scenario points. As you can see, they have a letter and a number below the letter. So the letter denotes which card we have to read, okay, when we get to this space right here, this point. And the number denotes the distance we have to be at to be able to read said story card. So if we want to know what the story card H tells us we have to be in that space. We have to be at 0 distance, which means we have to be in this zone right here, and these zones are denoted by these white borders, okay? There are these little dots here. These dots are the number of characters that can be in the same space at the same time. Well, in this case, we are only 2 characters, so we won't have to bother with that. Great. So that's one less thing to think about. Actually, there's one space here that only allows for 1 character, and here as well. Okay, so we do have to actually watch out for it, but there's very few spaces that have this restriction. So yeah, that's it basically. Since we start here and we have this, so this is a wall, by the way. This is not a white space, so we can't go through this. It makes sense, okay? We are in a stairs, and we can't just, you know, break through this wall. Makes perfect sense. We have to go down here, which means we will immediately interact with space H as we go. All right, so I will simply read the story here, which actually tells me to place the miniatures on this space, which I already did. But yeah, let's start the scenario. This is very narrative based. I will be reading a lot, so I do have a little bit of water here. So excuse me if I have to stop now and then to get a bit of drink of water, because this will be a challenge for my throat. So let's start the tutorial number 1, the Flooded Inn. So, the Flooded Inn. The city of Ambergate stands on dozens of small islands connected by canals and bridges. One such island holds the shimmering Squid Inn, where you are staying. One evening, you are standing on the balcony overlooking the magnificent gate from which the city gets its name, a doorway into nowhere. A few weeks ago, the runes decorating the gate lit up with an eerie blue radiance. People have come from far and wide to witness this phenomenon, just as you admire it from your balcony. Just then, the gate starts to crackle with azure energy, and water starts to pour in through it. The canals overflow, and the islands closest to the gate are completely submerged. Cries of panic and the ringing of bells fill the air. You rush downstairs into the common room, where water is already knee-deep. The innkeeper, the barmaid, and the customers all look desperately in need of help as the water pours in through the door and the windows. To help them, you will need to act quickly. So, place your hero miniatures on the stairs in the bottom left corner of the inn and continue reading tutorial 1. Well, we already did place our miniatures there, so we won't have to bother with that. Okay, so we are pretty much good to go. So it is the beginning of this round, and if you remember correctly, we will have to choose now actions for each of our heroes. So here's to a drink of water for that. All right, so let's start here with Lunara. So we don't really know what we have to do right away. So all we know is that, well, our water is coming and the inn is beginning to be flooded. Everything, as you can see, is getting submerged and just floating around in the water. So we're going to have to try to help the innkeeper, the barmaid, and some of the customers here of the inn. Or we could just leave. Whatever we want to, but of course we want to help them. So we're going to we don't have any attribute checks to do, so focusing would make no sense here on the scenario. So Lunara will actually choose an extra maneuver, and Zuvasai will do the same, extra maneuver right here. So again, they are the same color here, they are both blue, which means that we can choose the turn order, and I'll just go with Lunara since I'm already looking at her. All right, so Lunara will move first. So I've chosen an extra maneuver, which means now I can choose which maneuver I will do first. And I'll just start running here. If I want to, eventually I'll rest, but I will run. So I will spend 2 of these chips, okay, which means that we are doing a run. So we're spending a maneuver, we're spending 2 chips, and we're getting 3 movement points here with this run. So where are we running to? Wait, sorry, this said please and continue reading tutorial 1. Sorry. Tutorial 1, which is, what is tutorial 1? Flooded Inn, spoiler, do not reveal cards from this deck unless specified. So what do they mean? Read tutorial 1. Is there anything else for me to read? I don't think so. Search. No, there's not. No, there's nothing else for me to read. Or is there? Actually, let me... Is there anything else for me to read here? Ah, I think, yeah, never mind. Tutorial 1, it's this. Okay, the setup. Okay, now I get it. Yeah, never mind. There's nothing else for us to read here. Okay, so we can actually start playing here. So we have 3 movement points. So I'm moving Lunara, of course, to this space right here, which we have no choice, basically. So this means that we've arrived at a space that has a story card in it with a range of 0. So we are going to read this story card right here, story card H. So what we do is we go into this deck. Okay, it has 15 story cards inside, it seems. What we do, we're going to search, and it was H, card H. So we're going to pick up card H. Let me just place it here, and I'll move it to a better place. Can I move this player reference? It would be cool to have them right here. Can I? Well, never mind. Oh, delete, I can. Yeah, great. Okay, so I'll place it right here. So there we go, story card H. By the way, the art on these cards is lovely, amazing. I love the art on these cards. It's really, really good. So the shimmering squid. In the common room, the innkeeper is directing customers upstairs. The stout Corellian heartily welcomed you yestereve, but is now clearly fighting off panic. So poor guy, his inn is getting completely flooded. And he basically needs some help. He's trying to save his customers. And so these story cards, you have a little bit of text to read, just like we did. And then it usually either allows you to flip immediately, tells you that you have to be at a certain range, which is this 0 right here on the left of the offer help. This is the range we would have to be in order to try to flip the card, to complete whatever objective the card proposes to. In this case, it's just offer help. We just need to be here, okay? And we don't need to do any check, we can just help him. Of course, it's up to you. You can choose not to help him if you want to, but of course we're here, so why not? Let's help him. So we just flip this card right here. Never mind the flipping story cards page 10. This is just directing us to the rule book so that we read about flipping cards and all we need to do to flip them. Again, I'll just explain whatever is needed at the time, so we can just help him out and flip this. So, the innkeeper's plea. Are you certain you can face the current? As Bakora is my witness, I want no harm to come to you. He looks you up and down, appraising you from head to toe. In fact, perhaps you could help with the bridge. I fear it will collapse, and then the escape route will be cut off for many townsfolk. Work hard, and may the Creator's success flow down on us all. There are others also in need of your help, such as the silk merchant and the barmaid. And who knows who else is still inside the rooms? Just then, a gush of waves sends more water and debris in through the open door. You must hurry. Okay, so basically this is just introducing us even more into this scenario and telling us what is going on and maybe trying to direct our priorities here. Okay, so that's all we got from him. So we used 1 movement point. Okay, so we still have 2 more to use. So I'm going to, so as you can see, D right here, this story card, it has a range of 1. So if I move into this space, I will be able to read it and know if anything is necessary to help another one of these customers. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to pick up Lunara. I'll spend our second movement point going here, and now we can read card D. Okay, so let's pick up card D. There we go. Place it here. Let me put this a little bit better, and let's read this. A mysterious stranger. A distraught, one-eyed Ignosaur is rushing to her room where a strange-looking device awaits. You have seen her here in the inn and have overheard her introducing herself as a silk merchant. Ignosaurs are not a common sight in Ambergate, and silk merchants have no use for such devices. So this is mysterious. This is just, well, it's a mysterious stranger. Never mind. I actually was not trying to make a pun here. But we can interact with her, we can approach her and basically start talking to her. But to do so, as you can see, we have to be in range 0. So we can't, so this is card D, okay, which means she is here in this space. We cannot flip this card yet because we need to be in the same space as card D in range 0, just so we can interact with her. Thankfully, we actually ran, so we have 3 movement points. We spent 2, so with the third one, we can go here into the space and actually flip the mysterious stranger card. So now that we're here, let's actually flip her. We did spend our first 3 movement points, although remember we did choose to have an extra maneuver, so we will be able to move even more. So let's just flip this and continue reading. How do you know my name? Venerate the sun, she says in relief, and addresses you by your name. It is you. Please help me. I left some valuable manuscripts in Birdie in yonder stable. Would you save them for me before they get wet? You have seen her in the inn but have never spoken to her before. How does she recognize you? Please, there is no time for that. I have the means for escape, but you must assist me. Okay, so she left some valuable manuscripts in Birdie in the stable. Birdie. Okay, so this is the stable. It does look like a stable. And Birdie. So Birdie, we have some stuff to interact in here. So we will see who Birdie is, who or what Birdie is. But he is here in the stable. So she's asking us to go here. Okay, that's something that we will be able to do. I'm not sure. Well, there are still things to do here, so we don't need to rush to the stable. Again, we have that timer of 7 fate cards, so we can still interact here in the inn and see if anyone else needs our help. So we've run already. So we've spent our movement, but again, we have that extra maneuver, okay, from this action right here. Remember, each turn is a maneuver and the action you chose, and we chose extra maneuver. So we have some more movement to do, and I'll actually run again because there's this space. Well, actually, 1, 2. So if I just walk, I could go 1, 2, but then maybe it will ask me to interact on the same space. So I won't risk it, and I'll actually run once more. So I'll spend 2 more chips. And I have 3 more movement to do. So I do 1 movement, okay? You can move through these white lines, always. You cannot move through a red line. So I couldn't stand on the table. I can't stand on this balcony, okay? But I can move through zones. So that's 1 movement right here. That's 2, okay? And now I can read card A because I am B, okay, B. No, to read B, I would have to be around here. So I can read story card A because I am 1 space away. So let's go here. There we go, card A. Let me just make this a little bit prettier. There we go. This is a chest-carrying clergyman. You see a priest of the 5th eye carrying a heavy chest marked with exquisite signs. The chest seems too heavy for the elderly Nitagri man, but he is desperately trying to keep it above water. He refuses help, saying he has vowed before the 5th eye to take care of it alone. Okay, so there we go. So now we have to do a check. So we don't get to just flip this card freely. We actually have to go through a test right here, which is a mind test. We kind of have to outsmart him. Well, not really outsmart him, but convince him with our wits that, well, he does need help and maybe it's better that we help him. But again, as you can see on the left of the symbol in the try to convince him, on the left you have a 0, which means we do have to be in his space. Thankfully, we ran. Okay, so there we go. So we're going to move here. This is our 3rd movement point. So we went from here, 1, 2, and 3. And now we can try to do this this check, this ability check. I've said ability. I don't know the exact name. I should check actually. Let me check really quick, just so I'm giving you the correct wording here. But one thing I didn't said was that you can only do 1 of these checks per turn. Okay. I mean, you can only try 1 ability check for once per turn, the same ability check. You can try various if there are, there are ability checks. Fantastic. Might, agility, and will. Yeah, I named them correctly. So this ability check, I can only try it once, okay? But if there were others in the same room, I could try more than 1. It's just 1 try, each ability check can only be tried for once per turn. Hope that's not confusing. It's not. I am making it more confusing than it is. Okay, so for this check right here, we need a 5 on will. So we have 3 right here. Our will is 3, as you can see. That means that we can roll 3 dice in order to achieve this result. Okay, so basically what the dice show us is this symbol right here, which gives us 1 success. This one gives us 2 successes. How do you actually flip the die? Okay, this one is basically, it's like a critical success. It gives us 1 success and allows us to roll another die, all right? So this is a pretty good one to get. So because it's 1 success and then get another roll roll from, another die. Then we have, this is 1, this is this, what else? How can I actually change the, well, I don't know. When they drop, I'll try to show them to you, but I think there's only, there we go, this face right here. This face doesn't give us any immediate successes, okay? But it allows us to use our chips, our stamina. We can use 1 chip for 1 success or 2 chips to 2 successes, okay? So it doesn't give success immediately, but allows us to change it to either 1 or 2 successes, depending on how many chips we are willing to spend, okay? And that's it. That's all the dice, all the faces of the dice, okay? So we're rolling 3 because that is our will, and we need to get 5 successes in order to convince him that we are going to help him. Okay, so let's roll these. Okay, we got 1, 2, and then we have these 2 faces right here, which, as you remember, they aren't giving us successes, but if I spend chips, they will. And I will spend them because I don't want to waste this turn. So basically I can spend 1 chip to get 1 success here. That's 1. And for this one, I will have to spend 2 because I only have 3 successes. I need 5. So that's 1 more and 1 more. So we're almost out of vitality here on our first turn. But we did get the 5 successes we needed, so our chest carrying clergyman, we are successful. We can flip the cards. So what does it say? Chest of the 5th eye. You convince the priest that the 5th eye will not be pleased if the chest and its contents get wet. He sighs in relief as you take the heavy object from his hands. The chest emits a high-pitched hum, which seems oddly out of place compared to the heavily low sloshing of the water. Place this card below your hero board. You may give this card to a hero in the same area as your hero on your turn or theirs. Okay, so we can just pass it along. If the hero with this card moves onto an area with a chest symbol, place the card in the salvage pile. All right, salvage pile is right here. Okay, this is the salvage pile. We can just place cards here, do a little pile in there. Actually, let me put this a little bit down. All right, so that was it. That was Lunara's turn. We moved 6. We did a lot. We completed this, and this. Everything's very successful. Fantastic. So we now pass along the turn. We're going to be playing with Zuvasai. That's it. So he also chose an extra maneuver. Again, we can do 2 maneuvers with him. So we're going to be interacting with the other spaces here on the inn. So we have this space B and this space C. That's all we have left, if I'm not mistaken. So that's what I'm going to do. I will have him interact with the other stuff here on the inn so that both heroes can just leave the inn at the same time afterwards. Hopefully, if everything goes well on his turn. So we're going to run as well, just like we did with Lunara. We're going to get these 3 movement points. 1. So we can, so I want to read B. So but yeah, I will read B at the same time I read C, won't I? So it's 1, 2, and 3, and I'll be able to read B because I will be 1 space away, and I'll be able to read C because I will be 2 spaces away. Correct. Can I get any closer? I was just checking. I can. If I go 1, no, but I have to go through here. So I always have to go to H. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So yeah, that's the most we can do is to get here. So 1, 2, and 3. There we go. So we can now read, actually let me flip it, we can read both card B and also card C, because B, one space away, we are one space away from it. B is all of this, okay? This red border goes through all of the balcony. So we are one space away from the balcony. And C, we are 2 spaces away. The red areas also count as spaces for determining distance, which means that we are 1 and 2 away, okay? So let's read B first, because, well, it comes first in the alphabet. So let's go with that. So let's search card B. There we go. So card B is a dangling chandelier. You cannot jump over the high bar, but above it hangs a chandelier. Ah, okay, yeah, the bar, it's a bar, okay. The light of the candles glimmers in the flowing water. An athlete might be able to jump up from the water, grab the chandelier, and swing their way forward. Okay, so we can do some bar acrobatics if we have a distance of 1, and we do have a distance of 1, so we can flip this immediately. All right, so we now have this available. Okay, so we can swing from the chandelier, fantastic. You can spend 1 movement point to basically do a agility check, and we need a 3 to succeed. If we succeed, move to any area that is adjacent to the area containing B. Okay, so we can move from here to C. You get the point. So instead of going 1, 2, yeah, we wouldn't be able to run here on this turn. We would have to go 1, 2, 3, and then spend another movement to get here, which would be really bad. But if we do the bar acrobatics, we'll be here on card C immediately. For the rest of this turn, you can spend 1 movement point without a test to move to any. Okay, so we can swing back and forth. Fantastic. Okay, so we can do this. So we've spent our first maneuver running here, 1, 2, and 3. But we can read card C as well. All right, so that's important, because we will have to decide if we want to use our acrobatics to go from here into card or space with the story card C. So let's read our card C, which is the barmaid, it seems. Stella's Grick needs saving. The innkeeper's stepdaughter, Stella, has a pet Grick called Fungus. Fungus is caught in the cellar and in danger of drowning. Oh, poor fellow. To help her, you have to either grab the Grick or convince it to jump into your lap. So in here we have a choice. We can either pass a agility 5 test or a will 5 test. Okay, and if we succeed, we have to flip. But again, we have to do this ability check. We have to be in space C, and I guess that's where the bar acrobatics comes into play to allow us to get there quickly. So we have another maneuver. I will simply walk for this maneuver, because 2 movement points are all we need. We need 1 movement point to try the bar acrobatics to go to the other side. If we fail, it would be 4 to go around the bar. So yeah, we'll only would need to run on the next turn. So yeah, so the walk is perfectly okay. So that's our second maneuver of the turn. We're going to do a walk. We get 2 movement points. And remember, we can only try each ability check once per turn. So I will try the bar acrobatics. This will be very helpful. It will save us a lot of time if we can get this done. So it is a agility roll skill check of 3. We need to have 3 successes. It seems easy, but we only have 2 agility with Zubasai. So let's see if we can get our 3 successes here. There we go. 1. Okay, 1. Remember, this gives us a success and allows us to roll another die. So 1, 2, and it's pretty much guaranteed. Oops, it's pretty much guaranteed that we got it. 1, 2. Okay, and I need to spend a chip to get a success here. So 1, 2, 3. There we go. We managed to do it. We managed to swing ourselves with some acrobatics here. So success, move to any area adjacent to the area containing B. So I am going to move, well, you know it, right here, okay? And now I can do this ability check, okay, because it's a different ability check. And if you remember, bar acrobatics, for the rest of this turn, you can spend 1 movement point without a test to move to any area adjacent to the area containing B. Which means that if I now successfully do C, I can, for free, go back here. And I would go to this area, definitely. So this would be a fantastic turn for Zusai. So let's see if he can pull this off. Stella's Greek needs saving, we've read it, so now we're going to try to rescue Fungus the Greek. We have to choose if we want to do agility or will. Both require 5. Definitely will, because, well, we only have 2 agility, but we do have 3 will. So we're going to roll these 3 dice, and we need to get 5 successes here, which I think are achievable. So let's go. Okay, this is kind of... So it was falling here, so I think yeah, if I remove it, it just gives me this. So in fairness, on my behalf, I will take this result. So that's, sorry, 1, 2, 3, this is 0, and now I'll roll another die because this is a one success and it allows me to roll once again. Oh, come on, this wasn't even a roll, come on. Whoops, I rolled that one by mistake. So I got this, okay? Sorry, this one I messed with it, I shouldn't have. So this 1, 2, 3, and I had 2 dice with this result. So, which means I have to spend 2 more chips, okay, to get either 2 successes here or 1 on each, doesn't matter. And I do get the 5, okay? I do not get the 5 that I needed to rescue Fungus the Greek. Okay, we got the 5, let's flip this. Fungus the Greek, there you go, adorable. You take Fungus the Greek in your arms and pet it gently. It is wet and miserable, but safe. Meanwhile, Stella has run to the stairs. She waves at you and yells, "Oh, thank you. May the stars shine upon you, kind savior. Please bring him to me." Okay, place this card below your hero board. Oh, we forgot to place the chest. You may give this card to a hero in the same area as your hero on your turn or theirs. If the hero with this card moves onto an area with a chest, place this in the salvage pile. Same as this one. Okay, so now both our heroes actually have a treasure that they will need to basically secure. So if we look at our map here, the only space that we have that has a chest right now is here on the stairs. This is where Stella has moved to. So we will have to go there. Okay, so how can I do this actually? So here's what I want to do. I don't want both of them to come here. That wouldn't make much sense. So I'm going to spend my second movement point from my walk here with Tsuvasai. And I'll go somewhere where Lunara can maybe go through in order to leave. Yep. So I think here would be a good idea. So I will spend my second movement point and I'll go here, okay? Because I want, I can just give these cards to, you may give this to a hero in the same area on your turn or theirs, okay? So I don't want both of them to have to come here. It's much better if if one hero collects both of the items and just goes here, because it would be a waste of time for both of them to go to the stairs. Okay, so that's it. That's the end of the turn, and that's the end of the round. Both heroes have done all of their actions, and basically all we have to do at the end of the round is, besides tidying up our play area, is just to pick up a fate card, flip it, and just throw it in here. Which means that we now have 6 more rounds in order to do what we can, basically. Go to the stables and get Birdie. That's right now the only mission we know we have. This one was just generic. It's just the innkeeper asking us for more help. Sorry, a bit of water here.